Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the IDRiM podcast. Now, here we will have a special episode with our partners that collaborating using this platform to spread their good things with us. And here as well, we will have a new host, which is Irene Petraroli, which we already hint in our previous episode. She is a postdoctoral fellow in University of Twente. And for this episode and some upcoming episode, she will be with me hosting our podcast. And as mentioned, that here with us is Nivedita and Hideyuki. We'll talk about the special event from them, the Avoidable Deaths Networks, on the very specific International Awareness Day that I think will kicking off this year. So to start off, can you explain your roles here on the ADN and tell us more about what is this International Awareness Day?
Okay, thank you very much for having us today. So my name is Hideyuki. I'm one of founding presidents of Avoidable Deaths Network. So first of all, congratulations on first anniversary of the IDRiM podcast series. I think you started this, the great initiative last year. So yeah, big congratulations. And then I'm very happy because last year we had the honor of receiving the Professor Norio Okada Implementation Science Award at IDRiM conference in Samos, which gave us the opportunity to appear on this IDRiM podcast for the first time. And then we are very happy that the podcast collaboration between Avoidable Deaths Network and IDRiM Society, which we discussed at the time, has realized so quickly. So thank you very much.
Yes, my name is Nivedita Ray Bennett, and Hideyuki and I founded the Avoidable Deaths Network in 2019. And then in 2023, we launched the global campaign, which is called International Awareness Day for Avoidable Deaths, also known as IAD4AD. It was launched on 13th of March in 2023 in collaboration with the city of Izumiotsu in Japan and headlined by Ms. Mami Mizutori. At the time, she was the head of the United Nations Office for Disaster Risk Reduction. So last year, we marked the second year, and this global campaign is an annual event. It's a campaign that we want to run for 10 years. So it is called International Awareness Day for Avoidable Deaths. So we are hoping that on the 11th year, we will drop the word awareness, and we will continue to celebrate it as International Day for Avoidable Deaths on 12th March, which is also the day ADN was born in 2019 at Kyoto University at the 4th GADRI Summit. So it's a special day for us, and that's the day we launched the global campaign. And the global campaign last year, we celebrated across 20 countries. So we encouraged our collaborators and partners from IDRiM Society to mark this global campaign in the month of March. Although the day is celebrated on the 12th of March, but our members are spread out across 94 countries in different time zones. So the whole month of March, which is also the holy month of Ramadan, our campaigners celebrate throughout the month of March. So it's not restricted for 12th of March, but the campaigners can celebrate any day of the choosing in the month of March.
So I'll just quickly, thank you very much for having me as your co-host. As I mentioned, it's kind of big shoes to fill. I'm very happy to be here. I'm very happy to have the chance to talk with you. I know a little bit about Avoidable Deaths Network, but I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit more about specifically what you're doing to celebrate this global campaign, specifically this year, and maybe how the past years have informed your decisions for this year agenda.
Okay.
I think Hideyuki, you can go first and I will complement.
Okay. You're right. Okay, thank you very much. So yeah, For me, I would like to explain why would we chose Izumi Oats for, IAD4AD's inauguration praise. So actually, we have very good relation with Izumi Oats city for a long time. The area, Izumi Oats, they face a serious tsunami risk by Nankai Trust earthquake in Japan. And then local government, Osaka prefecture government estimate indicates that more than 2,000 people could die in a tsunami. However, these diseases are absolutely avoidable. So they have enough time to evacuate. So all that is required is immediate evacuation after an earthquake. So to share this information with the public, I have been working with Hama Elementary School in Izumi Oats since 2012. So more than 10 years I'm working with the school in Izumi Oats. So every year I have fostered around 40 to 50 junior champions who run about disaster risk reduction and share this critical information with the wider community. And we also work closely with the city government and local communities. As promoters of this campaign, we believe that involving diverse stakeholder is key to creating a culture that avoids disaster-related disease. So for this reason, we decided to hold a launch event in Izumi Oats. And then on that day, we had approximately 100 international partners and participants. And around 10 ADN members participated from all over the world. And of course, the mayor of the city, the head of education, the head of DRR also attended, and the junior champion of Hama Elementary School shared their experience in English. And the community members were also present. So it was a truly diverse event. So yeah, we are very grateful that the city was pleased to support that event. Yeah, so this is the reason why we chose Izumi Oats as for this, IAD4AD inauguration. Okay, over to you, Nivedita.
Yes, I can add more about our global campaign's objectives. So basically, this global campaign is a public engagement campaign, okay? So the global campaign has 3 objectives. So number 1 is to raise the visibility of disaster deaths, especially indirect disaster deaths and missing persons. Now, nationally and even globally, such as the CRED data or the Sendai Monitor data, currently captures direct disaster deaths, whereas Avoidable Deaths Network's work focuses on indirect disaster deaths and missing persons. So that's the number 1 objective, is to raise the visibility of those deaths. Second objective is to understand the causes and circumstances that is leading to those disaster-related deaths. And finally, the objective is also to promote the slogan, disaster deaths are avoidable. Now, this is a call to action slogan. We believe disaster deaths are not inevitable, but they're largely a systemic failure. So if we can understand the local systems and understand where the flaws and bottlenecks and limitations are, we can mend those systems. So those systems can be fixed so that lives can be saved at a local level. We also have a guidance for campaigners handbook. It's called International Awareness Day for Avoidable Deaths, guidance for campaigners handbook. It's available on our website. It gives some information of the type of events the campaigners could do. For instance, students have done blog, short videos, art competitions, spoken words poetry. For instance, at Aston University's Public Health School, students have been developing posters. So in year 1, they identified top 10 avoidable deaths in UK. In year 2, they identified top 10 avoidable deaths in Europe. Now this year, the students have informed me that they are going to develop a poster on top 10 avoidable deaths in Asian continent. So, every year the students are building up, they're getting to know the causes and circumstances of avoidable deaths. There is another very impactful story that is emerging is in Bangladesh, where the campaigners have been, especially the Dhaka University students, have been taking out rallies, in their campus. They were also going to the community level to raise awareness. And this year, they have really planned absolutely amazing. They're inviting the journalists. They're also inviting local stakeholders, where they will all come together. And there's another youth association society from Bangladesh. They're all joining hands to make the rally even bigger this time. So these are always interesting stories and ideas that our campaigners come up with. We are not very prescriptive what they can do. They can do anything. And our global campaign theme is called Do One Thing. And it can be anything, just one thing. Like myself, at Leicester University, I do one thing. And that thing is our iconic Attenborough Tower is lighted up on 12th March at 6:45. And the tower is lighted up half blue and half green. And this is to represent the planet. The planet is blue and the planet is green. So we don't prescribe. The campaigners are encouraged to come up with any kind of ideas that raises the visibility of indirect deaths, missing persons, or any other risk reduction activities that directly, engages with the high-risk population, vulnerable populations, and key stakeholders like the local government, health emergency services, disaster management services, search and rescue. Yeah, happy to answer any more questions if you have.
That's very wonderful goals, and it's basically I like that you emphasize it. We just need to do one thing this year, one thing only. So it's basically, and as you mentioned several examples from the beginning, from in Japan and UK and like the Bangladesh one, and your goal is basically more visibilities. Now, how these campaigns and goals actually can connect with the people that can be where death can be avoidable, how it can actually bring up the experience from them, especially from the low and middle income countries. Do you have any idea on this for this campaign?
Yeah, I'm happy to answer this because Hideyuki is based in high income country, but we have been working in low and middle income countries. Let me bring an example of, let's say, India. Okay, so in India, Avoidable Deaths Network has another model called case station for avoidable deaths. So we have one case station for avoidable deaths in Hama Elementary School in Japan, which Hideyuki leads it, and he has been leading it for 11 years. And there the focus is on tsunami deaths. Okay, but because your question is related to LMICs, so let me bring you the example of India. So in the Gujarat, it's a western part of India, they experience extreme heat. So we are collaborating with All India Institute of Disaster Management, and they launched a case station for case station for avoidable deaths from extreme heats. Okay, so it was launched last year during the Global Campaign Month, and what it does, it engages with the high-risk population. So they identified the high-risk populations such as street vendors, small-scale businesses who are working day and night out in the street with little shop, little umbrella. So there we are trying to pass on some risk reduction behaviors. That what is it that you can do to minimize the impact of extreme heat? So we do outreach activities. So the case stations would engage with those kind of vulnerable and high-risk population, and we try to provide some sort of risk reduction behaviors through two outputs. What could be information, IEC, so information, education, communication materials. So we develop flyers, small leaflets in local language. And the another product is called BCC, which is behavior change communication materials. They can again take form in terms of scenario building, scenario discussions, and also engaging with the community and listening to their stories and finding what could be the local solution that could be put in place. So that is taking place in Gujarat. Now, Hideyuki and I have another case station in the state of Orissa. It's in the eastern side, So the case station for extreme heat is in the western side, which is exposed to extreme heat, whereas on the eastern side of India is exposed to cyclones, floods. So there we have a case station for avoidable snakebite deaths. So as I said, the second objective of the global campaign is to understand the leading causes and circumstances surrounding these disaster deaths. And we found in low and middle income setup, snake bites are a leading cause of deaths, disaster deaths. Drowning are a leading cause of disaster deaths. So we work with those kind of causes and circumstances to understand how we could again develop or empower the high risk and vulnerable communities' capacities. So through our case station in Orissa, Hideyuki and I have been running several outreach workshops. So outreach workshops happen so we run 2 workshops every 6 months, almost every 6 months. So 2 outreach workshops annually. So we bring experts. Sometimes we show them films and videos. We provide BCC, IC materials where community can do mitigation at their own level to reduce the risk from getting bitten by a snake. So these are some activities that Hideyuki and I have been driving, but also there are other activities that our campaigners are doing by coming up with their own ideas. For instance, my student, Moza, she is based in Oman, and she ran a digital global campaign last year. It was absolutely amazing. So she ran nearly 2 to 3 weeks digital global campaigning on heatwave, because Oman is in the Arabian parts, and they experience floods, but also they experience extreme heat. So she was trying to raise awareness about extreme heat and how the migrant workers can mitigate the impact of extreme heat. So these are some examples. I hope I've managed to answer your question, Harris, but otherwise I welcome Hideyuki if there is anything he would like to add.
Yeah, thank you very much, Nivedita. Yes. Yeah, actually, so our this type of initiative is based on our avoidable disease network philosophy, ADN philosophy. We propose 2 different type of the network. One is knowledge exchange network. So this network is for those who want to find yet unknown issues related avoidable disease. And then the other one is a local level action network. So local action network is those who want to find solution to known issues such as snakebite related avoidable disease. So yeah, we are trying to expand these 2 types of different type of network.
Thank you, Shiroshita Sensei. Actually, that really answers one of the questions that I had in my mind, and I think just this is more like a comment. It's really amazing how, because I'm seeing in the RR field that there is so much division. Sometimes we focus so much on a certain type of disaster, on a certain type of region, and seeing how the ADN format can really get into all cultural context, is flexible to all potential risks. You can be in a high income country, you can be in a low income country, you can be low income in a high income country. There is really a variety of, as you correctly mentioned, of risk and hazards it's really amazing that so much can be achieved by so little. One of my questions that I have, and I know that we're going a bit over time, so in case, feel free to give me like a short answer, is since we are kind of at the beginning of the year, I was wondering if you have some hopes for this 2026. What would you like to see more, better? What kind of role you think advocacy, awareness, collective action should play more in this coming year? And maybe how does this global campaign, this international day can help support these wishes for the coming year?
Okay. So yes, okay. because I'm doing disaster education. I'm studying about disaster education for a long time. So yeah, for me, I think, the participation is quite important keyword for all of, disaster risk reduction or avoiding any type of, avoidable death. So in this light, yeah, so this year, under this global campaign or any, disaster or death or, related awareness day or day. For example, we have UNDRR, United Nations, Disaster Risk Reduction Day in October. So we have lots of day for marking. So yeah, using this, the great global campaign, I would like to expand, how to say, the opportunity to participate in, this type of activity, reducing avoidable deaths or disaster risk reduction. Thank you.
Thanks, Irene. That's a fantastic question. Yes, it's made me reflect. So, I think through this global campaign, we would want every individual to become a researcher. So researcher should not be something for a professor like myself, or a postdoc or a PhD student like yourself. The whole global campaign idea is to make science popular science, because there is so much knowledge and wisdom amongst these lay people who are experiencing disasters day and night. They are on the front line, experiencing the brunt of climate change and the extreme weather events. And the other thing that I would like to appeal to the IDRiM Society and their, partners and collaborators, including the people who are at risk, is that we must not accept that disaster deaths are inevitable. They are not. So the data that we are getting from the national and international organizations must not be just taken lightheartedly. They are just numbers, but behind those numbers are human tragedies. Yeah, it is the tragedy where the disaster management system or the health management system has failed. So I would say that disaster deaths often is studied only by epidemiologists, statisticians, at a local level and national level, and we consume the numbers. Let us not do that. So I would request all the campaigners, prospective campaigners, that they put on the researcher's hat. If their uncle, brother, father, mother, or a neighbor has died, they need to think, why have they died? What were the circumstances that led to those deaths? And what can be done? And how can we reduce those deaths? So I would say that everybody becomes an epidemiologist, socio-epidemiologist, to understand why they died. And I will give you one example for here, Professor Prabhat Jha. He is the guy who had the 1 million deaths project. It ran between 1990 till 2000. It's one of those prestigious projects that ran, and probably globally, all the global public health people know about that million death study. And I was reading his interview, which was given many years ago. And at the time, ADN was, I think we launched it or maybe just a few months after, because my background is not public health. My background is sociology and disaster risk reduction. But over these years, I have started moving into public health to understand the questions that I have been asking: who dies, why they die, what are the risk factors, and how can we reduce deaths? I was using sociological theories to understand, but I found out these are the questions that the epidemiologists have been investigating for years. So Professor Prabhat Jha, who is based in Canada, is basically an epidemiologist, demographer. So he comes from public health background. And I was reading his interview on BBC, and I found out that he lost his dad at a very young age. He became curious. Why did my dad die? Yeah. And I think, I can't remember the details and the facts. I think he was a smoker. So maybe smoking might have been a cause in terms of having a lung cancer. My dad died of lung cancer because he was a quite rapid smoker, but he did stop later on, but it was too late. So I think when you know what was the cause of the death, it enlightens that individual in some way or the other. So I would say through this global campaign, it's an appeal to all the campaigners, prospective campaigners, to not just take the numbers for granted, not take the circumstances the way your uncle or father or brother, someone died. Be a little bit more investigative to see what lesson can we learn, so that some of my dear ones don't lose their lives just because they did not have that information.
What's very big goals to achieve in these years. So as we closing the time, as one last questions for both of you, especially now, how this campaign, the global campaign, will unfold this years, how people can actually contribute and involve in these campaigns. Do you have any website or contact points that people can reach out to help you and supporting this campaign?
Yes, I can answer this.
Take it as part of promoting the campaign once more.
Yes. Yes, I'm happy to answer this one. So we have a global campaign website, which is called International Awareness Day for Avoidable Deaths, or just type IAD4AD. It will just, open up, number one. Number two, as I said, there is a guidance for the campaigners, the kind of activities they could do to celebrate the global campaign. This year, we launched the monitoring and evaluation framework called MEL framework. So this would also give an idea to the campaigners how they can, capture the impact that they are doing this through very simple activities such as webinar, rallies, art activities, and things like that. So we have all those activities, all those information up on the website. We also have 13 cultural assets. So these are digital assets. They are for free. Campaigners can download them. They would need to use our digital tile so that it's a kind of a footprint, that because this activity is done because of the global campaign. We are trying to develop a digital portal for reporting. We are in the process of obtaining an ethics approval for this. So all the campaigners will be encouraged to report the way they have conducted the activity. The report is very simple, only one page. It asks for numbers and few anonymized statements. And also, as I said in the beginning, that this is a 10-year global campaign, and we would like to reach out to 100 countries, especially those countries that are carrying the burden of disaster deaths. So year 2, we almost surpassed our target, which was to reach 20 countries. We went beyond 20 countries. So this year, it would be fantastic if we could reach out to 30 countries. So we already have about 22 countries on the card. So Hideyuki maintains a Google Doc, which is available on the website to register their events. We also have a frequently asked question, a document which provides the template that it looks like for reporting, so that it helps the campaigners to understand the way they need to organize the activities. And also, as I said, the objective is to understand the causes and circumstances of disaster deaths, and also increase the visibility of our global campaign. So there are particular ways to do that. So sometimes we found that these activities, people try to combine with the DRR activities. Now, DRR is a very broad concept, very, very broad concept, whereas the global campaign has a very specific aims. And I think it was fantastic that Irene said that, this concept is so overarching. It crosses countries and geographies and boundaries, and yet avoidable death. We are all born to die, but we must do everything that an individual lives a matured life, an accomplished life, let's say, depending on the country's human development index. If the life expectancy is 75, if someone dies before that, would consider premature or avoidable, or accidental deaths such as drowning and snake bites. So those are accidental deaths, those are avoidable deaths. So we have lots and lots of information on our website, IAD4AD. We also have a drop-in session every Thursday at 2 o'clock GMT. Campaigners can come and speak to us. We have flyers. They're all on the website. So is there anything else that Hideyuki I have missed?
No, I don't think you all. I think you all covered, but the very small information, the complementary information. So last year we had 32 events from 26 countries, and then
26, okay.
yeah, 26 countries, and then yeah, celebration of IAD4AD is kind of mandatory for our regional coordinators. So far we have 32 regional coordinators from 20 countries. So this means at least we will have 32, IAD4AD related event. So anyone can join any event organized by our regional coordinator. But also, if you want, you can organize any relevant event of IAD4AD. So please join, this global campaign as please join as participant or as an organizer. Thank you.
Yes, I think on that note, I would also welcome and invite you, Harris and Irene, to celebrate the global campaign at Lund University and also wherever you are based, Irene. That will be fantastic. So spread the words, be the campaigner, be the ambassador.
Yeah, that's a such great campaign. So listeners, you listen to the last part. So basically join them to celebrate this International Awareness Day, and hopefully you enjoy our conversations. And as they mentioned, just head up on the website, just search it's IAD4AD and got all the informations. And if you're interested, just go there and do help them to make this event flying colors in this years. So that's it, everyone. We will have this kind of podcast with ADN in every month and almost every 2 weeks. So we will come back again with the regional alliance that Hideyuki mentions earlier, regional coordinators. And see you next time.